Reincarnation. I know some of you have heard me speak about it before, but this episode we chat to Sherylanne, who actually has a few strange coincidences with her reincarnation. Let's have a look. And welcome to the Brac Shop. This is the platform to the esoteric, which comprises of the unexplained, the spiritual, and the paranormal, because I believe that one day quantum physics will have an answer for everything. And I'm Tom from the shop. So welcome to another episode. Now, some of you may have heard me speaking about reincarnation, and I'm fortunate enough to bump into Sherylanne, and just in chatting I discovered she had a few experiences with reincarnation. So we caught up and had a chat with her. So, and don't forget, if you do like this episode, please press the like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed as yet, and please click the bell so you won't miss out on any other of my other videos. So let's chat to Sherylanne. So welcome. I'm Tom from the shop, and I have a friend that I sort of bumped into a few weeks ago, and this is Sherylanne. She's a she's a champion Samba. You started with an S. Samba dancer, and she's a coach as well. Why I got Sherylanne on was because we were just talking about reincarnation, and also I've just found out Sherylanne has a few other experiences, well, I really wanted to talk about reincarnation because the University of Virginia has come to the conclusion that reincarnation exists. They've done 40 years of research.
Wow.
And out of their studies, there are about 1,500 cases where they've actually found the past lives of the people that they've research, and they're basically children up to 8 years of age, because they say once you get older than 8, the memory sort of does start to disappear. And also when they've done the past life regressions, the hypnosis, they don't actually look into that anymore, because they found a lot of people that have had past life hypnosis, they're actually beginning to regenerate stories that they've actually had since they were children, and it's not actually past lives. But that's debatable. I know there's a lot of people who do past life regression, but I wanted to talk to Sheryl because last time I met her, she actually told me a really interesting thing that happened to her. But before that,
Cheers to that.
Cheers. We're drinking Earl Grey tea. We're doing the very, we're having afternoon tea. I don't know, we're having scones and tea. And at Maison Bertaux, which is apparently the oldest French patisserie in London, started back in 1871. And I must admit, the staff here have been so helpful. They've actually gave us a little quiet room, offered to give us more light, but we managed to twist a few lights around anyway. So I'm really impressed, and if you do want to come and have a look and support the cafe, there's historic French patisserie in London. Please do. The address will be down below. It's on Bric Street in Soho. It's been here since 1871, so maybe we were all here in a past life. And this is where I'm coming from, because as I mentioned when I was talking to Sherylanne, and what's the story? You had a past life regression.
I had a past life regression. I've had a few, maybe 3, and one of the ones that came out was that I was a Tuscan noblewoman in the, I think, 14th century in Tuscany, and that I was in love with a priest, and that he ended up choosing the church. We were considering running off together, and he ended up choosing the church over me, and so I was heartbroken, but still had my rich family, so I was okay, I was alive, and I was cared for.
And that was, and that's as far, and that was in the past life regression. I know what I said before, that a lot of the researchers at Virginia University said past life regression on adults sometimes is childhood memories. And I'm open to that, and I'm also open and hopefully that maybe some past life regressions do bring out the past. So this sounds really interesting, that you were a noblewoman in the 1300s in Tuscany, 14th century.
But I mean, I don't even know if I believe in past lives, although I feel pretty sure that it happens, and I definitely have felt energies from something else that has influenced me. And sometimes I'll see something. I went to Tuscany, I went to Florence, and I knew the streets before I walked down them. I could picture them in my mind, and I was just getting goosebumps everywhere I went. And I would, before I turned a corner, I said it's going to open onto a tiny piazza with massive buildings and a big church backing onto this little piazza. And sure enough, I'd round the corner and I'd see this, and it was like constant deja vu, and it was there. I'm getting goosebumps. It was very spooky. Anyway, so I met this guy once, and somehow we had this like instant connection and incredible connection, but it wasn't romantic. So we were both kind of confused about what it was. And we
so you both felt the same?
Yeah, and we just kept calling each other and messaging each other all the time and meeting up all the time. And we almost kind of went to, I don't know, embrace each other, because we're like, what is this? And he was straight and I was straight. But it wasn't romantic. It's like we just knew each other. We were besties, and
so where did you meet him?
All the time. So this was in Sydney.
All right.
He was maitre d' in a restaurant, okay. And then one night we went to see a show or a movie or something, and then he said, "Oh, let's go for a walk." And so we were walking past the town hall in Sydney, and it was really dark, and I think there was a full moon. There was a full moon. I remember the silhouette. Anyway, he suddenly just turned to me, and I just got this visual of him. I could see him. He was like a monk, and he had the robes and this hood, and I saw his face, and it was like looking at me, and I'm getting so many goosebumps right now. And I just had this like visual of him in front of me as a monk, and then I said, "Have you had a past life?" And he said, "Yes, actually." And then he went to tell me the story, and he said, "I was a monk in the 14th century in Tuscany, and I fell in love with this noble woman." And I said, "And you chose the church, and you didn't choose her, even though you were planning to run away with her. You chose the church, and you didn't end up doing it." And he's like, "Yeah, how do you know that?" And I told him a few other things too. This is what I can remember right now, but I told him a few other things of his story, and he was just, "How the hell do you know that?" And I said, "Because I was the woman, but you chose the church, didn't you see?" And then in that moment he said, "But I chose the church because I knew that you would never survive, because we'd both be thrown out of the city, you'd be poor after that, and in those days, it's like you hadn't grown up in the streets, so you just wouldn't survive. You'd probably get sick. You'd probably, we just wouldn't survive. We'd be stoned everywhere we went." And so he said he chose the church basically to save me from that. So, which was great, because now I didn't feel upset at him anymore for choosing the church. Good thing to choose though. So
what happened with your life then? You just grew up and got married and married someone else?
Well, actually after that, it's interesting, because I felt like after that I had really good long relationships, good boyfriends, and it felt like my
in
love
the present
life.
life.
Yeah, in this life.
No, I mean in the Tuscany life, did you become a spinster, an old maid, or did you end up just marrying someone else, or you don't know?
In Tuscany, as far as I know, no, I never remarried, and I don't actually know 100%. Maybe I need to do another regression and see if there's any more light on that.
Okay.
But from what I feel, I felt that no, that was my love. And
wow, what do you think about that? Write your comments below. Well, what did you think? What did you think of our chat with Sherylanne, with her past life as a Tuscany lady? Write your comments below. Let me know what you think. Even if you don't believe it, that's good to know. We're all free to have our own opinions. And I'm just here to bring you different scenarios and chat about them. But what do you think about her actually meeting the guy that was who she was involved with in the past life? What do you think about that? Coincidence or something else? Write your comments below. Let me know what you think. And if you've enjoyed this episode, please tell your friends, share the video, and press the like button below, and subscribe and press the bell so you won't miss out on any of our other episodes. It also helps the channel to grow as well on the platform. And have a look below. Buy us a drink if you like. It always helps me and the channel. And there's other links down there you might find appealing as well. So have a look, and hopefully you'll be back next time. So in the meantime, stay well and happy.